Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. About last week, I was driving my daughter to take her to her driving test. She passed, so now she's driving around. Anyway, as I was turning my corner to leave my house for the appointment, I saw at the same house that I had picked 2 lawnmowers from a few months ago, thanks to a tip from Jason of Pate's Performance. The same house had this lawnmower in it. That bag was not there. It had another bag that didn't fit. I think it was one of the bags that fit one of the other 2 that I picked up, which I'd already sold. So I have an extra bag. Anyway, this is a Husqvarna bag and it fits, but the Husqvarna bag has tons of rips in it and stuff. I'm gonna try to fix it with some really thin wire, kind of sew the patches together, better than having it leak out, you know? Anyway, as you saw in time lapse, I got it from my shed. It's been sitting there for about a week or so. I don't know anything about it. It's a Craftsman 6 horsepower, I believe, Briggs quantum engine. It's got bald front tires because it's front self-propelled, 21 inch. It's that green one with the beige top. You know, I've had a bunch of these. It's a decent mower, but it's very old. It has a brake bail handle cable that was very rusty. So I used a little bit of lubricant to lubricate the wire inside, moving it back and forth, and finally it's moving around. Decent oil. It could use a change, but it's not black, and the lubricity and the viscosity is good. Gas tank is completely dry and empty, all right? I don't know what that's about. We'll find out later, but I figured we'd spray some go-go juice in it and see if it at least turns over, because the bail handle to the brake flywheel kill is pretty good. So that's what we'll try to do first. This is the condition of the bail handle with the cable. As you can see, it was left outside, so it's all rusted, but I sprayed some lubricant and it slowly trickles down, or like they say in Canada, down to the kill mechanism where it releases the brake from the flywheel. And when you depress it, it moves here, then it stops. So I had to manually move that back, and I did that back and forth with a little lubricant, and then now it moves freely. So at least we can disengage the magneto kill, and it should have spark. Deck is okay, you know, it's a little rusty, surface rust, but as you can tell, it hasn't been fired up in a long time. Anyway, we'll take this air cleaner cover off and the air filter, if it has one, and blow some starting fluid in there and see if it turns over. Then we'll know we have spark and that the kill mechanism works. All right, I flipped it around so you guys could see. The throttle cable is the kind that is attached. We'll just disconnect the throttle cable for now because we don't really need it. We can move it manually. See, throttle cable off. We can move it manually forward and backwards. This is to lower the RPMs, and this is high RPMs. It's really not that important, but you want to mow the lawn, you mow the lawn, you know what I mean? Now this is surprising. That house is always in complete disarray, all right? You wouldn't think that they took care of anything over there. I'm surprised they even have 3 lawnmowers, you know? Look at that. This was left outside. I thought it would be in complete disarray, but it's actually a decent filter, which means that they either maintained it or they don't really use it that much. So that's kind of good news for us, right? All right, so look, we'll spray some go-go juice in here. Unfortunately, it is the primer bulb kind, which I hate. Let's see if it at least turns over. What do you guys think? Think it'll turn over? I'm gonna slowly pull this first. I wasn't sure if it even moves freely. Feels funny on the bottom. Okay, it looks okay. Decent blade too. you just want to make sure before you don't know anything, you know, blade could be loose, goes flying, hits your leg, chops your foot off. Wow, how about that? How about that? I'll be honest with you, I definitely didn't expect that. Let's just put some gas in it, huh? Put some gas in here and just see. You gotta try. Because look, if you look at the condition of the air filter, it's pretty good. Maybe it was seldom used and the carburetor's not dirty. Well, not that dirty, but we'll see if it runs and stays running on its own, so that we don't have to do any carburetor work. Gas is like $3.79 now here in Long Island for regular cash. That's right, regular cash. Okay, trickle, trickle, trickle. It's getting into the bowl, pushing the bowl up, the float up, seating the needle, hopefully. No leaks so far. Oh, there's leaks. I'm not surprised, I mean, you know. But let's see if it runs on its own. About that, huh? It's still leaking gas. But how about that? That was surprising. I didn't think that was going to happen. So I got it propped up into an angle. I pinched off the fuel because it was still dripping out. So look, we know that the carburetor is clean enough that it runs on its own. I just tested the primer bulb, and sure enough, it does work, believe it or not. Shoots up gas from the emulsion from the bulb, but it leaks. So if it leaks, we got to take care of it, right? It's 3 5/16 to remove the air cleaner base. You have to be careful not to tighten these too tight. Otherwise, on these primer bulb versions, the channel will get bent and warped, and it'll leak air for the primer bulb. That's why I hate them, because it's such a pain. But let's just take the bowl off real quick, and we'll see what the condition is of the needle. So it could have some varnish on the needle that is preventing it from seating properly. Remember, I got this mower in somebody's garbage for free. Can you get that high? Can you guys get that high? Free! That's right, free. And I haven't paid for anything this year, as I haven't done in the past 4 years. My first year I did pay $5 or $10 for a mower or something, but yeah, the hole is clear. Let's check out the condition of the bowl. There we go. Look at that. Clean gas. Some stuff on the bottom. Not bad. Yeah. It's got like some sticky stuff in it. But why does it leak? Oh, look, look, look. The float is seized in this position. Therefore, it is not seating. It's not going up. I'm going to take this off and clean it completely, because it being upside down, it's hard for me to get to. I mean, I could just force it and stuff. Should I force it? Because sometimes if you force it, you could ruin the seat. Oh, I think I moved it. I think I just got it. You just move it around, right? Now the needle will be going in and out. In and out. Yeah. I'm going to get some carb spray and spray the bottom of it put some catchy stuff here. Using my go-to thing, contact cleaner from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. Now look, you guys, regular followers, see that I use this exclusively, right? Why do I use it? Because it doesn't blow up gaskets. If you don't believe me, go try it. Or ask my friend Bill Martini. He'll vouch for me. There's a lot of varnish in this primer hole. It's like brown. But I can feel that the fluid is going through, and you can hear it. As you can see, the channel is open. It's going through. Now I'm going to bend the straw upwards towards the emulsion tube, and it is clear. Now I'm going to spray where the needle is, because there may be varnish there. It looks like we loosened it up, and the gasket is in place. I'm going to clean this bowl a little bit just to get clean, and then we'll put it back on there, because now the float is freely moving up and down on its own. As long as it goes up and seats it, it'll be good. If it doesn't come all the way down again, that's a problem. But it looks like it will drop on its own. Drop on its own. And when you fill the bowl, the fluid will push the bowl up and seat, hopefully. But it seems good to me. It just needs to move like a millimeter or not even that, you know? Yeah, so let me clean this. Blow out this jet nut for a second. As you can see, I'm shooting it through the top, which means it's clear because it's going to the bottom and out again. That's one side. Turn it 180 degrees. It's coming out the other side too, so this is clean. I cleaned the bowl. There's two little rusted holes in there, but not enough to come through, so it's good. Good enough. Just gonna put the bowl back on, match it up with the gasket. Gasket's a little stiff, but once you put the nut on and put some torque on it, it will hopefully seal along with the moisture that it's getting from the gas. And just tighten it. The quantum engines like this, with this carburetor system, is very easy to work on. It's my favorite engine to work on because it's so easy. You just turn it, you know, tighten it as you think. Let's just put it on its side, on its regular position, and see if it leaks gas. Because that's what we wanted to that's what we wanted to address, is whether or not it leaks or not. Because the float wasn't seating. The float was stuck on the bottom position, so the needle was down. But then we loosened it up, and now the fuel should be, the fuel is now going in there, filling up the bowl and pushing the float upwards. So once it's full, the needle will seat and prevent it from leaking, and so far, it's not leaking. Now we don't have the cover on, so I can't prime it, right? So I'll just blow a little bit in here, and we'll see if it starts. Don't want to suck up that cardboard. Let's make sure it's in the shot. There you go. All right, let's see if it starts. Doesn't look like it's leaking, is it? It is kind of. A little bit. But maybe I'll have to tighten that. Now, because look, see? The wetness is coming on the sides of the bowl, meaning it's leaking, it's coming out from here. Or was it what I just blew? Could have been it too. Huh. Maybe it's flooded because I blew so much stuff in there, I primed it too. it for a bit and watch it and see if it leaks. So as you saw from time lapse, I put everything back again, including the throttle cable, air filter, and all that. I used some of this very fine wire, very fine. I mean, it's so fine that you could just like use it as if it was just thread and needle. So it's not pretty, but it seals the holes. That's even worse because the hole is so big. I was gonna take some white duct tape and put it on the bottom and then stick it on the top, but that's not gonna hold, you know? As long as the grass doesn't come out, which it won't come out of here, air will come out of there, but what are you gonna do? Better a bag than no bag, you know what I mean? Rest of it's fine. So this is running and starting now. We're gonna have to address the self-propulsion because it definitely does not work. Let's just test it again. We're gonna use the primer this time, a few times. As you saw, bag works and self-propulsion doesn't. Now when I put that handle down to engage it, I don't feel like it's pulling anything. So I think maybe the cable's bad, or it's not connected right to this, or that lever assembly is busted. You can tell it's been a while since this thing has been run. Ow. And that's right, I'm not even gonna touch the spark plug. How many times do you see in videos where people say, oh, I just changed the spark plug, still not running? It's almost never the spark plug. I'm not even gonna touch it. It runs, it creates spark. That's all you need. I'm not gonna touch it.
Henry, shouldn't you change the spark plug?
Why am I changing the spark plug if it works?
That's a good point.
Of course it's a good point. Oh dear, oh my. That's no good. No good at all. You guys see that? That's rotted pretty bad. And the cable does look like it's attached. This is the lever that it pulls. See, like that. And I don't think it's pulling. So I don't think it's this area, you know. I think it's the lever. Here's a good shot of it, okay? So you put this down and you're supposed to engage the lever, right? And that thing's supposed to pull to tighten the pulley, right? Look at the cable over there as I push this forward. It's freewheeling. It's not, this is not gripping onto the cable and pulling it. Oh, look. Look at that. Of course it's not. It's not even connected. I'm going to take this off. So I took it apart, and the cable itself came out of where it hooks onto, and he was pulling it so hard that it just came out like that, you know. So on this side over here, I disconnected it. Why? Because I tried to move the cable inside of its conduit, you know, and it's seized on the inside. If you pull it, it's seized. So I'm just gonna, I took the cable out and I'm gonna pour some penetrating oil down in there so that slowly moves through. Same goes for here. We'll try to free up this inner cable, see? If the cable doesn't move, it doesn't matter if you fix the lever, it's not gonna work. So this is gonna be a while. I'll come back to you guys if this starts moving. If not, we're gonna have to get a new cable. Okay, hasn't been an hour. It's been 5 minutes. I just sprayed it, right? And I stomped on one side and just used pliers and pulled, and it broke it loose from the rusted spot. So now look. Freed it up. So now the cable moves inside the conduit. And I'll try to reconnect this on there and see if the lever still works or if the lever's broken. I might have another lever if it is broken, but this seems to work. Okie dokie. Check it out. Engage the cable, start the engine, it's running. Engage the propulsion. Let go halfway if you want to. Returns. As you can see, it moves now and engages the propulsion when you're mowing. And when you don't want the engine, you want the engine running continuously, but you don't want to shut the engine off, you pull it up halfway. It disengages the propulsion and you could still mow by pushing. So let's see if it works, huh? Prime it a couple times. You guys think the propulsion will work? I think it'll work. Awesome. That's fantastic. Grass is going to come up here, get in the way of the belt, and that's not good. Not to mention, look where the hole is, right there, right? The rot. You put this on perfectly, like that. You couldn't screw this thing down anyway because there's no hole for the screw to go into. See? So I have to do something about the hole because I need to have some kind of a metal piece so that the screw goes into the hole and holds this down. Otherwise, this thing is just fly off. You know what I mean? See? See where the screw is? Right there. Just keep your eye on that area right there. Exactly where the hole is. So I got to do something about this. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Maybe silicone some plastic, a plastic piece there. Do a self-tapper screw right through the plastic. And that way it'll hold it there and keep the grass out of the transmission area. That might be pretty good. I need to get rid of this loose stuff over here and then find a plastic piece. So look at this. This is the cover, right? And you can't get the bolt out because the piece of the deck is stuck on it. The screw is still through the hole. So anyway, I did this. It's a piece of plastic. 3 self-tappers in there. Seals the hole. And when I put the cover on, I push down. As you can see, there's a little indentation now. So I'm going to get a longer screw and shove it through. We should be good to go. There we go. I'm not even going to shine it up. Prime a couple of times. list this as an old and ugly mower, but it works and it's self-propelled and it has a bag. So if you need a super cheap mower that bags and drives itself and starts with one pull, there you go. $100 firm. Years ago, I would probably get $150 for it because it's self-propelled and a bagger. If it didn't have a bag, you minus $25. So it's $125 for a self-propelled one. If it's just a regular push mower with no bag and no self-propulsion, $100. Because this is such an old condition mower, $100 would be fine. I know, I did kind of a lot of work to it. It did take a few hours, but sometimes you just want to get it going. You want to address every issue of the mower. You want to see if you can do it. That's part of it. So we were successful in that. Patched up the bag a little bit. Fixed both cables from it being seized and rusted. They both move freely now. Fixed the lever on the self-propulsion engagement, as well as the rotted area where the cover goes on. Fantastic. Cleaned the carburetor, really wasn't that dirty. Fortunately for me, it primes well, because if it doesn't prime well, it won't start. As long as you can start this in one pull, people are excited and they want it and they'll buy it and you'll probably sell it. So I found it on the street. Hopefully I'll get $100 for it. Not $50 would be fine too. I don't care. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining me on today's lawnmower repair. Pick, fix, and flip. We'll see you guys all next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.